G'day there guys, Marky here, and welcome back to another episode of r/relationship advice stories. Now, I do hope you enjoyed today's bloody good episode. Say hi to the dog for me. He's gonna be watching this episode, I'm sure of it. And with that said, I want you to sit back, relax, chuck a prawn to the barbie. Let's get right into it. Cheers. Posted by user ComplexWing7114, titled, I have 2 weeks to get away from my husband. Throwaway account is my husband and in-laws follow my main. I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 30 male, who I'll call Alex. Alex and I met in college during our freshman year. We started off as just friends and got married 7 months ago. I've gotten along with his family, but we aren't super close, but we are friendly enough. The problem is that Alex has begun to make me incredibly uncomfortable. Firstly, he's begun to ask me who I'm meeting with, where, what we plan on doing, how long, every single time I leave the house without him. At first, I just thought that he was being protective and a good partner, just in case something happened. But then he started checking my phone after the visits, vetting and researching each of my friends as well. He's also been pursuing me to link my bank accounts to his, as he's in charge of the finances, when he was perfectly fine with keeping them separate before. We fight about it almost every day. Finally, yesterday when he was preparing to go on a work trip for 2 weeks in California, he demanded I wear a tracker so he could keep an eye on me while he was gone. I can't do this anymore. I feel like I'm suffocating, and his family who I've spoken to about his worrying behavior just said he's being careful and protective, as a good husband should. I need to gather my things together and find a way to be gone before he gets home without tipping him off. He's always threatened that if he ever found me cheating on him, he'd turn in divorce papers the same day. He keeps a filled-out copy on his desk. I'm going to submit those the day I leave, but there is so much to do. Bergen, finding a new place to live, seeing if my job has any transfers available, packing and moving in 2 weeks. His return flight May 11th, so I need to move quickly. I'm posting here because I don't have any close family, and I can't risk dragging my friends into this as we share the same friends. I just needed a place to vent and ask if anyone has any advice on the easiest and safest way to do this. In the comments, Naomi15 says, do not take his divorce papers to submit. Who knows what agreements or stipulations he put in there? Get a lawyer and do your own, ASAP. Can she take the divorce papers to the lawyer so they can check for stipulations? And if she's in the clear, sign and file so she doesn't have to worry about badgering him to sign. Edit to add, the lawyer is referring to the lawyer she'd have to get, referenced in the comment I replied to, and there would be no new documents with forged signatures. 2 comments misunderstanding and still no clear answer. That is his lawyer, not hers. He represents her husband and is advocating for his interests. Any decent lawyer will advise her to get her own counsel to look over the agreement. He would also have a duty to his client, the husband, to tell him what's going on. First, contact your job and tell them your situation. They might have an immediate job opening for you. Second, contact any nearby DV shelters and ask them for assistance with your plans. Last, file a police report so they know what's going on, and so your soon-to-be ex cannot file a missing persons report for you. Good luck. Absolutely this. This is beginner stages of the abuse cycle. Constant checking and tracking you is abusive. Pressuring you to combine finances is abusive. Try to get into your local DV shelter ASAP. Have a to-go bag ready. Important documents and change of clothes along with money. Let your HR department know. Some places have emergency funds for employees to use to relocate quickly. For checking on hidden cameras in your home, at night with all the lights off and in total darkness, turn your phone camera on. Look through the screen as you walk around your home and look for any red to purple dots all around the rooms. My DirecTV remote that I practice with, pointing the end of it and pressing buttons, gave off 2 little purplish red dots as a practice run. Go around the rooms and bathrooms and point your camera everywhere, including the smoke detectors. If you see a light, whether it's flashing or not, especially any knickknacks, new clocks, phone chargers, plush toys, etc., then you've found your cameras. In the bathroom, especially take a look at the bathroom fan on the ceiling fan. Take the grate off to look for a camera. Behind clothes too, in an open closet in your bedroom. You gotta do a sweep because if he's going as far as wanting you to wear a tracker, then you can assume he's already got cameras all over your home. Especially since he knows he was going to be gone 2 weeks. Back up to the post, OP provides an edit. Oh my god, you guys are amazing. I never even thought to not use his divorce papers. I'll check for cameras before I start any packing or prepping. I may also shred his divorce papers just in case and look into getting a lawyer for myself. I'm in a no-fault divorce state. That much I do remember will help. I'll update again when I know more. The tracker he wants me to use is a small clip to put on the belt or waistband. I'll wear it unless I'm going to do something related to me leaving. No pets yet, thankfully. I really like including some of these comments in situations like this because the one with the hidden cameras and checking with my phone, I would never have thought to do myself personally, but I really do hope that if anyone else is in a situation like this or knows anyone else, that these comments and tips can help them. I really feel for OP and I hope they do what everyone is suggesting they do so that they can leave this marriage and get away from this controlling man as fast as possible, but as safely as possible, and that things don't escalate. Because as we've seen time and time again, things can and do go south, especially when your partner knows that you're making a break for it. And now, onto the update. So I've gotten a lot of support and helpful advice, along with questions I thought I should clarify before I proceed with the update. Some asked why I'd be hiding things from Alex regarding going out and who I'm meeting with. I don't, and I have nothing to hide. However, when he begins to then double-check everything, I tell him with the other people there, right down to each person I talk to, and what I said. Did I send any text messages? Did I order food? How much did I eat? And that's when it started to feel like I was slowly being pushed into a corner. It didn't start that bad, but it gradually grew worse over time. All of the Reddit subs my in-laws' families are a part of are related to gardening and DIY, so I highly doubt they'll see this. If so, by the time they do, I'll hopefully be gone. I talked to my job and explained things to my manager, and they promised to look into openings in other states to see if they could get me into one. They'll have an update on that in 3 days. I trust that my bank account is secured, considering he's tried to get into it before and failed. I found one camera in the kitchen, another in the living room, and one in our bedroom. As such, I've left them in place for now and done all other planning, either in the bathroom, pretending I'm taking a bath. I'm honestly staying away from the domestic violence services, as my sister-in-law is unfortunately higher up in those, considering she volunteers there, and I have a feeling if I did show up there, they would know in a heartbeat. I can't look for apartments until I get the update from my work, but either or, I'm still going to be leaving the state. The day before I do, I will be changing my number carrier and wiping my laptop and all of his electronics before I do. I've met with 2 lawyers so far and had them look over the paperwork that my husband had prepared, and both of them said that it did have some clauses in it that could have caused me some trouble down the line. What alarmed all of us was the fact that several of those clauses dealt with future children, and not as a hypothetical. Like several had suggested, I have a feeling that he fully intended on getting me pregnant to keep me trapped and tied to him. There are 3 other locations my job could send me to, and I have, as a precaution, begun looking into all 3 cities and housing in the areas, just in case one of those is the one that they send me to. Even if they don't have an opening that they can push me into, then I'll just have to quit, move, and figure things out on my own. I have enough money to live and survive for a few months until I can pick up another job. Unfortunately, all of our friends and mutuals would likely be unaware of the consequences of saying or sharing anything I do or say with my husband. I don't have any surviving close family, and obviously my in-laws are not a good resource to rely on. I am on my own, unfortunately, other than the wonderful bonds that I've begun to make here. I will update again if I get more information or something else happens. Otherwise, all updates when my work gets back to me. I do plan on leaving before he returns though, just to make sure that I'm not anywhere near him at that time. In the comments, Aquavenitus says, "Forget the hidden cameras. The clauses he had written into the divorce papers are extremely troubling. God forbid you did sign those papers. I don't believe for a moment that your soon-to-be ex wouldn't have found a way to get you pregnant with or without your consent. I know you're pretending you didn't find the cameras, but I would change clothes either in the bathroom or in the closet. This way he can't threaten you with naked photos of you later on. Also, make sure all of your essential documents are on you just in case you leave quicker than you planned on leaving. I hope you hear back on the new location by tomorrow. The sooner the better." Yikes, your husband sounds like a psycho. I'm glad you're taking the steps to get out. I'm so sorry that you're going through this. I wish I could help you myself. Is there anyone at your work who can help set you up somewhere? Have you gone to the police and told them about the situation? This sounds so dangerous and life-threatening to you. Please check all the items you're taking for trackers, including your shoes, lining of bags, etc. If you have an Android phone, there are apps you can download to determine if there is a hidden Apple AirTag. Update 2. Good news. My work has an opening that I qualify for that will not only shift me across the country, but also comes with a salary increase as well. I've started telling my in-laws and friends that I'm planning a surprise outing for when my husband gets back for just the two of us. This way, people don't give me odd looks if they see me out and about. I've even gone as far as asking my mother-in-law to show me his favorite recipes. Meanwhile, I've found a moving company that, while small, is willing to work in a storm. The reason is, in 5 days, we're supposed to get hit with a large storm front. I plan to shut off the breaker and say that we lost power if he asks, just as several people here suggested, and even send him a short clip of the storm. I will have all of my stuff moved that afternoon, and I'll be flying out once the weather is cleared enough to do so. I have a lawyer who will push my divorce through, and I've filled out the necessary paperwork so that I don't have to be here for it. I'm not suing for assets or alimony, and I've shredded his divorce papers as well. I've set up a cheap payphone plan through Cricket until this is all said and done, at which point I will find a new carrier, number, and phone. This one is being wiped and left behind. My laptop is provided by my work, and the IT department inspected it thoroughly, and it was clean, thankfully. No other electronic, aside from my laptop and new phone, will be coming with me. If Alex needs to talk to me, he can do it through my lawyer. Not sure if anything else will happen. My fingers are crossed that he doesn't think anything is amiss until after I leave, and I'm not turning the breaker back on when I do. He can when he gets home. My work is covering the plane ticket, so that at least is one expense that I don't have to finagle on. In the comments, Vox289 says, "Rather than killing the power breaker, unplugging the Wi-Fi router/modem would be sufficient. Small cameras like that are wireless, with possibly an SD card backup, but they're not hardwired to the internet, and the internet being down is easier to pull off than the power being out, since most power companies have live outage maps. As someone who has done this, I have to applaud you for having the courage to do it. I left my shite husband in 2017 when an opportunity opened up in my company to go from Georgia to Arizona. I secretly packed everything I owned and brought it to my office to store until my move. Then I scheduled my direct deposit to shift to my new bank account and made all the other changes to separate us. 7 years on, it remains the very best decision I have ever made. I hope everything goes smoothly for you." Update 3. It's been a busy week, but I've gotten so much done. Firstly, I am now out of the house and am currently in a hotel while I look for an apartment. It's a big city, bustling with people no matter where you look. We had a pretty bad storm system hit back home that actually lasted 2 days. High winds, thunder, lightning, and even hail everywhere. I didn't take much from the house: my documents, clothes, and important sentimental items. I left all of the furniture and electronics behind. I cleaned the house top to bottom and took pictures on my phone so he couldn't claim that I damaged anything when I left. My lawyer has already started divorce proceedings, and my husband will be served on the 8th. His plane is due to land early morning, and the sheriff will be there at the house waiting for him. He is very much about public appearances and reputation. My lawyer will be calling him as well to inform him that I am more than willing to air out everything to the public about his actions if it means securing my freedom from him. I will go to court as long as I must to get this pushed through. I haven't told our friends or his in-laws yet. I'll do that while he's on the flight to prevent him from getting wind of it before he's handed the divorce papers. I will be calling around and explaining why we are getting divorced to try and prevent him from twisting this into somehow being my fault. I don't want him trying to claim that I had an affair or something, so I want to get the truth out before he can twist this. I'm doing okay. I'm tired, but yet I feel almost jittery and off-kilter. I keep looking over my shoulder and monitoring what I say, even when I don't really need to anymore. Hopefully that will fade soon. My work is covering the cost of the hotel, and I'm working on getting my other things in order. I also need to find a new GP as I want to get a full test just to make sure that everything is okay. I don't know when my next update will be, probably when the divorce papers are filed, or if we have to go to court to push them through. I will try to keep my head up, but it feels like I'm in a whirlwind or something with so many things to do and think about. I kind of thought that it would be easier once I got out of the house, but while the fear is smaller, somehow the number of tasks only seems to have grown. In the comments, ThankTink says, "Hi OP, please make sure to tell all of your friends, family, colleagues from work, back and now, including those who offered you the new job, people you have any contracts with, etc., that there is a possibility he will ask about your new job or address. Tell them not to give anything away, not even the town or area that you move to, as if you stay with your company, it will be easy enough to find you there if he knows where to look. Warn everybody that he will maybe even call disguised as a well-meaning friend who wants to send important papers over, or as an old classmate, or that he may make a friend ask instead of him, possibly a female friend too, to make it sound harmless. Tell them you will not treat this as a minor thing if they let something slip. Tell him that he can contact you via your lawyer at any time, and please inform you about any attempt to get information. There is the possibility to get a PO box too, where important letters can be sent to, which reduces the chance of him finding out about your whereabouts. Let your lawyer tell him that you will take measures in case he attempts to stalk you. If there are any questions he wants to ask you, he can do that via your lawyer anyway. So there will be no need to even try to get your address, and that you will take any attempt to do this as a reason to call the police on him. Take care, and I hope the new job and new town are great. Update 4. Sorry I haven't updated for a while. Things got hectic and a bit chaotic, honestly. Firstly, I'm working on getting an apartment still, and have applications in at least 3 different places, and will hopefully hear back from them soon. I'm still going into work here at the new location, so I don't have to worry about burning through my emergency savings completely. I've gotten a lot of emails from Alex, his family, and our old friend group asking question after question. I have only sent one returned email to Alex, explaining that I don't believe that we are truly compatible, and it's best that we separate now. That his treatment of me when I'd done nothing to deserve as such was just as much of a deal breaker as cheating was for him. I ended the email with a statement that I would not be contacting him further, and anything else he needed to pass on to me, or vice versa, would be done through my lawyer. For his family and friends, I just typed up one email outlining everything that had happened and why I left. I told them that I wished them no ill will, but that such treatment of his wife and partner was not acceptable. That should Alex get remarried in the future, I wished they would help support both partners and not just Alex. Alex, from what my lawyer told me, was livid when he was served. The sheriff actually ended up booking him for assault on an officer and menacing due to the threats that he was shouting. His father bailed him out in a few hours, but with the testimony of the sheriff, my lawyer believes that I have a very good chance of getting a restraining order. Alex, upon returning to the house, apparently lost his temper again, breaking the dining table into pieces, as well as the TV, and putting several holes in the walls. At least that's what one of the emails from one of our friends reported, as Alex called him to help him clean up the mess. My lawyer already has pictures of the house I took, with timestamps as evidence that nothing had been damaged by me. My friend reported that Alex tried to claim that I'd been the one to trash the house, but the holes in the walls were at head height. Alex is 6'3" and I'm 5'4", so he knew that was false. Either way, taking the pictures definitely will help me. So again, thank you everyone here for the advice, because I never would have thought of that on my own. My work won't share details of where I am, as I do work with some higher-end clientele who value security, and that information won't be gossiped about. And no, I'm not some stripper or escort. I deal with contracts, notary, and business management, and as such, even if Alex tried to use my work to find me, he wouldn't succeed. In the comments, Annie Broccoli says, "Yikes, the fact he blew a fuse and started destroying things really is a red flag. I'm glad you left before he ever would have snapped and ended up hurting you. I hope your life gets better from here on, OP. You deserve it, and good luck." Glad he showed his ass in front of the sheriff, though. That'll make things easier for OP. Sounds like you made the right choice. Stay safe. Definitely. And the fact that he showed his true colors to the sheriff should hopefully make things easier too. Good luck, OP. We're rooting for you. Yeah, this. If he had it in him to do that to a sheriff, it just goes to show what he could have done to you behind closed doors eventually. I'm so glad that you got out, and please stay safe. You got this. And now, onto the final update. It's been a little bit, and I thought I'd answer some questions before giving my update. It may be a while after this until things change. Firstly, no, I didn't bring my car. The public transport here is good enough to use without needing one. I have secured an apartment, and the building has good security. You need a keycard to enter, and there's a security guard at a desk right by the entrance to the building. As part of my contract, I gave them a photo of Alex and his family so that even in the off chance they do find me, they won't be let in. The responses I got from the emails varied. His family said I was overreacting and that I owe Alex an apology for the problems this has caused him. The pending criminal charges puts him at risk of losing his job if he's convicted. Alex sent a long email apologizing and pleading for me to come home. He said he was worried for me, that he's willing to go to therapy if it'll appease me. He wants us to remain together, and he didn't think that leaving was an appropriate response to his genuine concern and worry for my health and safety. The friends gave somewhat lacking replies, saying that they didn't think Alex was ever going to hurt me and that I shouldn't be letting my imagination run away wild. As much as I want to say I was surprised by the lack of support, I'm honestly not. He intends to fight the divorce. I'm letting my lawyer handle it, and I'm also pursuing a protective order as well. Once I got approved for my apartment, I also froze my credits. I've changed my phone carrier and number, as well as making sure none of my documents list Alex as next of kin or power of attorney. Some have asked why I was so paranoid about Alex and his possible future actions. The answer for that is actually somewhat simple. My grandmother. I loved that woman to bits. As a teen, she explained why my grandfather was never around. He was extremely abusive and manipulative, and her generation didn't allow divorce really. She wouldn't have been able to buy a house or get a good enough job to support her and my mother on her own. As such, she endured it, shielded my mum as she could until my grandfather died. When I felt like I may have been overreacting, I remembered how she'd always said that she'd always wished she'd been able to see grandfather for what he was early on, when she may have been able to annul the marriage. I don't know when I'll update again. Maybe when the divorce goes through, or if something big happens, but until then, I'm just trying to keep my head above the water. In the comments, Big Bob C says, "Glad to hear you're doing well and are safely away from him. If you didn't mention it to the alleged friend group, I would send a follow-up that Alex threatened you with divorce regularly and had a filled-out set of divorce papers as a prop. He valued your marriage so little that he used the threat of ending your marriage as a tool to micromanage your personal behavior. You have taken that leverage away. As far as his alleged reasons for wanting to keep close tabs on you, it's common for cheaters to accuse their partners of the same, so get an STD test. You have no idea who or what he has been doing on his business trips." Replying just gives more fuel for Alex. Anything OP says, even to the friends, will get back to him. He will twist it and use it for his benefit. Not replying will piss him off because she's not giving him any control. He can't use what she says against her or gauge where she is emotionally, etc., so he can plan his next step. not replying, not reacting, not giving any more information to anyone associated with him or anyone except her lawyer just to be safe, and having all communication go through her lawyer will make him seethe. By staying silent and healing and doing better, she is winning. But I hella agree with getting tested for all the things. Go get blessed by a holy person, or sage yourself and your things just to get all of the ick out. Quote, the friends gave somewhat lacking replies, saying they didn't think that Alex was ever going to hurt me, and that I shouldn't be letting my imagination run wild. This guy immediately assaulted an officer, punched holes in the wall, and destroyed furniture when things weren't going his way. Good thing that she's also getting rid of these friends too. I am so glad she got out. They're always such nice guys, right up until the point they kill someone. God bless OP's grandmother. She couldn't save herself from years of abuse, but she did her best for her daughter, and I have no doubt, saved her granddaughter's life. My ex-stepfather was this huge guy with a major anger and addiction problem, but he was very charismatic and could be a lot of fun. I would tell my theater friends about how hard it was at home and how scary he was. One time, I threw a cast party after a show, and my stepdad loved parties. He'd really go all out and way overspend. Several of my friends literally said they don't believe what I said about him because he was such a cool guy and the life of the party. My mom got pretty much the same response from several of her friends when she had to get a restraining order against him a few years later. People really can't see the monster under the mask pretty often, not until it happens to them. His family thinking she's overreacting reminds me of listening to true crime shows. Nobody ever suspected anything. Just like they didn't think he would ever assault an officer or punch holes in the wall, they're still going by what they think of him instead of his actual actions. Anyway guys, that's where I'm going to end today's episode. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!